This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Tasmania's Legislative Council is expected to debate late into the night over the government's controversial forestry bill. It's after the upper house cast its vote on mandatory sentences for serious child sex offences this evening.
A productive start for the Legislative Council this morning, passing the 2017-18 state budget.
This has been one of the best received budgets in the state's history.
Debate soon beginning on the government's bill to have mandatory sentences for serious child sex offences. The legislation is dividing. Abuse survivors are in support. Tasmania's legal community frustrated with a weakening of the judicial powers.
In many respects, surely we should leave it to the court to decide on the most appropriate sentence.
The screams that we're hearing from the public, the community, the people we represent, that they believe that the penalties in all of the circumstances haven't been severe enough.
Late this evening, Legislative councillors were tied in a vote, with the bill going down with the President. The upper house will now debate the highly anticipated forestry legislation. It's proposing an opening of reserve forests early. Environmentalists quietly confident it's doomed for failure.
We're cautiously confident that this will go down resoundingly in the context of the upper house, and so it should, because it really has zero logic.
The government is determined to push ahead with this agenda, but you've got to ask the question why.
Meanwhile, the Greens will bring on a fresh debate on transgender rights when the lower house resumes in August. Current laws forcing those who change genders to divorce before their new gender is acknowledged on birth certificates.
It's potentially forcing people to make a terrible choice between their identity and their loving marriage.
It actually brings loving, committed relationships to an end. It disrupts families in ways that are completely unconscionable.
Labor has voiced its support for the notion. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Fire has ripped through the top floor of a home at Sandfly, northeast of Huonville. Volunteer crews from 4 nearby brigades responded to an emergency call at midday.
Upon arrival, there was flames issuing from the roof of the structure. The occupants escaped without any injury at all due to the working smoke alarm that was fitted in the house.
Direct fire damage was limited to the top level, but heat and water affected other parts of the home. Fire investigators say it was caused by timber cladding exposed to a wood heater flue. A 72-year-old Hobart man who performed an indecent act towards a 5-year-old girl has today been sentenced to 12 months jail. Justice Stephen Escort told Hobart's Supreme Court that the man abused the child's vulnerabilities and that it was a gross breach of trust. The court was told the accused had been ostracised from his family and that he is remorseful for his actions. He's eligible for parole after serving 6 months. A Hobart man who is currently serving 8 years in prison has today been sentenced to another 9 months behind bars. Ryan Michael Mendak pleaded guilty to discharging a firearm and unlawfully entering a property at Old Beach in September 2015. Defence lawyer Greg Barnes told the court that Mr Mendak was addicted to ice at the time of the offences, but had responded well to drug treatment programs in prison. Mr Mendak was also ordered to pay a compensation order by Justice Stephen Escort. The woman convicted of murdering her husband in 2009 has had another setback for her appeal process. Susan Neal-Fraser appeared via video link in Hobart's Supreme Court this afternoon, but her instructing solicitor, Barbara Etta, was a notable absence. The court heard Ms Etta has stepped away from the case. Ms Neal-Fraser's daughter says the family is confident of finding a pro bono replacement.
I'm very confident that regardless of who does become that firm of solicitors, we have an extremely strong case, and this conviction will be overturned and justice will be achieved.
There will be another hearing on July 4. Alarming new statistics reveal 70% of new car thefts result from keys being stolen from people's homes. The figure has prompted the National Motor Vehicle Theft Body to combine with Tasmanian students and help decrease the risks.
It's the new trend that's affecting the lives of many Tasmanians. Criminals breaking into homes and stealing car keys before taking off in the vehicle without even having to hot wire. But a new campaign launched today aims to stop that.
So many people still leave their keys in the ignition and it's just, a disaster waiting to happen.
As part of the campaign, Launceston College students have created TV ads which will soon air across the state. The commercials prove how easy it can be for thieves to gain access to your property and take control of what's not theirs.
Stealing your car shouldn't be easy.
The launch comes as motor vehicle thefts across the state continue to rise. Tasmania police statistics reveal in the year to April, more than 1,000 vehicles were stolen, up almost 200 from the same time last year. And Launceston is the worst affected area.
We had 293 thefts last year, which is a 20% increase from 2015.
For the calendar year to date, we're averaging 43 cars stolen in the Northern District per month.
The main message from the new campaign:
don't leave your keys inside, don't leave them in your dash, don't leave them in your ignition, even at home, don't leave them on your keyboard, put them out of sight, don't leave them on your bench.
And if you keep them out of sight, it could mean thieves walk straight into a trap.
Keep your keys safe, guys.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
A Tasmanian push to change the date of Australia Day has won the support of the local government sector. A motion was put forward by the Hobart City Council at a national meeting of councils and narrowly passed a vote. Both the federal and state governments are opposed to a date change.
How do we improve? Local government, wherever they are in the country, don't set our priorities. And our priorities are investing into health, into education, creating jobs for Tasmanians, not changing the date of Australia Day.
Australia's Indigenous community considers the 26th of January as a day of invasion. Over 1,000 brave souls have bared all this morning to mark the winter solstice and the end of this year's Dark Mofo Festival. Organisers, though, were left unprepared for the turnout and ran out of towels, leaving dozens hanging in the cold.
The morning's temperature was most certainly nippy, but nothing deterred this bare-bummed group from donning red caps and lining up for a cheeky dip.
It's a celebration of being alive.
At 7:43 on the dot, marking the start of a new day, the towels came off and the brave bunch launched themselves into the icy water.
Very cold. Yeah, it's not something you'd normally do on a regular basis.
Trying to warm up again, so yeah, it's good to find some like-minded people who are interested in this kind of thing as well.
Many in it for the fun and to celebrate the end of the longest night of the year.
Well, it's very pagan, very cool, and yeah, just to get down here, when you could be inside, warm up in your house and embrace the sunrise and the beautiful water as well.
1,000 swimmers have braved Hobart's chilly Derwent water this morning to mark the shortest day of the year and the end of this year's Dark Mofo. Swimmers of all ages, shapes and sizes were pleased to drop their darks.
And I'm nearly 84 and we've come down just because we can. It's lovely that they have something like this just to be irresponsible and happy and have fun.
The event's so popular in its 5th year, many were left hanging.
Yes, the reason we ran out of towels is because the number of people who registered actually turned up this year, and that's the first time, so that's over 1,000 people.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Job opportunities and education are the biggest challenges facing young Tasmanians, according to representatives at a major forum today. Advocates want to see youth support services extended, especially in rural areas.
A gathering of young minds with long-running concerns. At the biannual Tasmanian Youth Conference, the transition from high school to college rates as one of the biggest worries among adolescents.
A lot of students that I know are dropping out of school because it just gets way too stressful.
And that's causing problems to snowball. Students saying they are watching their peers crumble under the pressure of expectation. Mental health issues are becoming more common. Promoting non-academic pathways to employment is touted as a solution.
People are telling you that unless you finish college and things like that, you're not going to achieve anything.
Then there's the task of finding work. The state's youth unemployment rate sits at 15%, according to the latest ABS figures.
So there's a whole wide range of issues that are important to young people.
In response, the state government points to numerous programs for young Tasmanians funded in the budget.
The suite of packages really does cross different industries and does cross different regions of Tasmania.
To translate today's fears into a better future. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's Wilderness Society will take its fight against tourism developments in World Heritage areas to the international stage. A presentation will be made to the 2017 World Heritage Committee in Poland over coming days. The Wilderness Society wants UNESCO to take action against the state and federal governments for allowing impeding tourism projects.
Coast Track, where government and this management plan has lifted a long-standing and sensible ban on huts in the Southwest National Park.
The TWA does allow for sensitive and appropriate development to occur, but obviously in line with the TWA management plan.
The group will also make a case to the committee to extend Tasmania's World Heritage Area as a long-term goal. An organisation that helps create better lives for many Tasmanians has been given its own helping hand. The state government gifting Launceston City Mission $50,000 so it can fix the leaking roof of Morton's Place and improve the building's insulation.
This morning when I went in there and I was talking to the supervisor of the service, she said that they only last night had a bit of a leak and they'd cleaned up a bit of a puddle on the floor this morning. So yeah, it's come at a good time.
The City Mission supports some of the most disadvantaged people living in our community, and so we're delighted to be supporting the mission.
More than 15,000 meals are provided each year at Morton's Place. Work to fix the roof should be completed by August. A new joint initiative in Tasmania South is identifying safe havens for local school children. Almost 20 businesses and organisations around Brighton have been awarded signs designed by the students recognising safe areas. It's hoped the initiative will extend.
Central Highlands, so we're looking at how we can replicate in those areas as well. Some of the reasons why the children don't feel safe in the more rural areas are a little bit different to the more urban areas.
It was interesting to see why they felt safe in some places, and it could be as simple as, you know, a smile and politeness and manners were really valued.
The signs were created through a grant from Calvary Community Council. Now a look at the day's business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has posted its largest daily fall for 2017 as lower oil prices and a soaring outlook for commodities hit energy and mining stocks, and the negative sentiment infected the big banks. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 91.6 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 75.61 US cents and 104.58 New Zealand cents.
Former Launceston Tornado turned Hobart charger Michaela Roof is hoping to prove the X factor for her new side as they look to claw their way back into championship contention. Roof recently returned from the United States after failing to make a WNBA squad, but she hasn't given up on the dream just yet.
Back in a familiar state, but wearing unfamiliar colours.
Yeah, it's a bit different. You know, I've been in Launceston the past couple of seasons, but I mean, I love Tasmania. I'm happy to be here in Hobart.
Recently cut from WNBA side, the LA Sparks, just before the start of the season, Roof says she was desperate to return back to Australia. And with no room for another import on her old side's list, the Chargers were keen to get her on board.
You know, I played against Hobart for the past 2 seasons in Launceston, and they have some really great players like Kathleen Shear. She's always a tough matchup, so now being able to play with her is awesome.
Coming off an away trip to Forget, the side is hoping to keep its finals dream alive when they take on Albury-Wodonga this weekend. And Roof had this message for the Tawns ahead of the side's next matchup.
That's in a few weeks. It'll be weird going up and playing against them, but I'm excited, and it'll be nice to see everybody and nice to beat them on their home court.
The men will also look to bounce back following 2 losses on the trot by sending a message to the Bandits at the Deck on Friday night.
We're either blowing teams out or losing the close ones, so it's something going into playoffs or finals, if we get there at this stage. We've got to take care of that.
While the Tawns could earn themselves second spot on the conference ladder Saturday night with a win over Albury-Wodonga at Elphin. But they'll have to do so without star point guard Lauren Mansfield, who's away on Opal's duties.
So, moving forward, we want to continue to get better and get better in a different way without Liz on, and hopefully that will set us up if we get into the playoffs.
Tom Cooper, Southern Cross News.
Olympic rower and member of the famous Awesome Foursome, Drew Ginn, is confident he can help turn the Tasmanian Tigers' fortunes around, despite having no previous cricket experience. Ginn was recently appointed Cricket Tasmania High Performance General Manager and will be tasked with getting the most out of the playing list, both physically and mentally.
To any high performer now in the world, the very best who have been dominating their disciplines for 10 years, they look outside their discipline. You look into military, they look into business, business looks into military, business looks into sport. The world's changed.
Ginn will officially begin in the role at the end of next month.
Good evening, and how was the winter solstice for you today, our shortest day of the year, with sunset this afternoon at 4:43 p.m. From here, the days get longer as the southern hemisphere tilts a little bit closer towards the sun. Good news. But we did have midwinter temperatures today, all below average. Hobart 12, along with Burnie 13 for Launceston and Devonport. The top was 14 at Swan Island and Eddystone Point, St Helens and the Islands 13, Lowhead, Wynyard, Friendly Beaches and Strawn 12, Campania and Bushy Park 10, Bushy Park 11, Grove got to 10 and Lyowini a top of just 3. There is low-level cloud, that's over Tasmania and the surrounding ocean. Spiralling low to mid-cloud is off southern Western Australia with more streaming inland there. The rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. Closer in and low-level cloud over the state passing by in waves. Tomorrow, a broad area of high pressure extends over eastern Australia, ridging back over the Northern Territory. A cold front is approaching Tasmania from the west and a low is there over WA. Variable winds at 5 to 15 knots, tending northwesterly at 10 to 20 knots, increasing to 15 to 25 knots over the west. Light winds over the inland lakes. We have a strong wind warning from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape, a road weather alert for quite a few districts as well. Tomorrow, still cold, becoming cloudy for Hobart, 11 the top, 10 for Cygnet, -1 New Norfolk, a top of 11 tomorrow. Launceston, a possible shower, mostly fine, 11 degrees, 13 for Devonport with a late shower moving through, -3 for Campbelltown to a top of 10. Burnie, a shower or two and 13 the maximum, 11 for Strawn. Smithton, a possible shower developing and 13 degrees. And for St Helens, a cloudy 13, 12 for Swansea. Fingal, pretty cold night, a top of 11 tomorrow. On Friday, showers developing and extending statewide without much effect on the east coast. A shower over the West and Bass Strait Islands on Saturday, fine elsewhere and some snow on the highlands. And on Sunday, becoming windy with more showers for all apart from the east again. Showers easing from Perth tomorrow, sunny and 18 in Adelaide, partly cloudy in Melbourne and 15 degrees. A frosty start for Canberra, a morning shower in Sydney but sunny for Brisbane and Cairns. Bit of cloud about at the moment, just 5 degrees in Hobart, Launceston clear and 5 degrees and Devonport clear and 5 degrees. And Joe, hold on, up-to-date news, Joe, -2 right now at Lyowini. So you're really right up to date with the weather.
We are indeed. Thank you, Murph. No wonder we're all so cold. Thank you very much. That's all from the team for now. Have a great evening. Stay warm. Bye-bye.